There we go.
Well, good evening, everyone. And thank you for coming in the room tonight for Relational Real Talk, and where we talk real things with real people, real stuff about relationships. And so we're just so happy to see everyone coming in the room tonight. Just excited to see what God is doing in the earth, and we excited what he's doing and changing us from the inside out. So we are this month, well, the month of February, and we kind of overflow into March, and welcome everyone to March. We're marching through March.
That's right.
And welcome to everyone in this new season, this shifting of a season. And so this month of February and overflow into March, we're talking about teach me how to love. Teach me how to love. And we've been having some really good conversation. We've learned a lot from each other. We've had a lot of good dialogue, and even we talked about some past in our younger years, bringing it forward. We had conversation about love, and most of all, we started off the first of the month speaking about God's love and defining how our Father feels about love and how we should be characterizing love, and some of the things that we should not be doing to show the opposite of what love is. So we've had some fun, and tonight, as we spoke last Thursday, that we were going to talk about the 5 love languages. We're going to have some dialogue about the 5 love languages. And so I'm excited about that, waiting to hear everybody's voice and speak tonight about their love languages. Some of us might know what they are, and then some of them might not know, or they might have an idea. And tonight, by just talking about these 5 love languages, we probably now can associate them together and have a more clear understanding about love languages. So I'm just ready to start the conversation. Mr. Joe, if you would like to kick us off in prayer tonight, and then we'll just go check in and see how everyone's doing, and then we'll jump off our conversation. And before you start, it's just good to see Marilyn in the room tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, Miss Marilyn.
Amen. Y'all, I'm just peeping in for a few minutes until my session starts over here. So I'm
okay. Oh, is this your 1 month when you come to visit, one time a month, right?
I don't even get to visit now. I've got clients on Thursday night. So, but I'm gonna peep in eventually.
Well,
we understand you're busy, Marilyn. We know you're doing things for the Lord.
Thank you.
So what? Let's go to the Lord in prayer, please. Heavenly Father, Father of us all, we come tonight with open hearts, open minds. Father, we realize a couple of things. If the mind is on the day shift and the heart is on the night shift, we must get those together. Because when you have the heart and mind together, things happen. We open up spaces to allow you to come in where you already abide. We open up spaces, the mysteries of you and the mysteries of ourselves, the mystery of us being directed by you. Training was the word I was looking for. But with all of that, we remove the fears in front of our hearts and let you come in. So for tonight, and as always, we invite you into the living room, and so we can learn more of you. And these and other blessings, we ask in our Son Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And if I may do one other thing, not prolonged thing, I have about 5 nuggets I want to talk about love just for a second, since we haven't dropped any nuggets in a while. And I'm gonna see what these kind of hit us a little bit. First one is Love is the energy of life. It should be the reason we get up every morning, motivated by love. Love is the secret of a great legacy. Love for God is the root. Love for others is the fruit. Expressed through encouragement, patience, kindness, courtesy, humility, unselfishness, good temper, and gentleness.
Wow. Okay.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
That's a whole Thursday night. That's a whole Thursday night.
We'll let it sink in and sit in it for a minute. Yeah.
Ooh, let's sit in it.
Okay. And I got two more. The truth of all,
Mhm.
life is tasteless without love. Gentleness is tasteless. It has, I guess we got to be the salt of the earth. I think I say something to that in biblical truth, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, move on, not trying to prolong things. Gentleness is born of love. It has nothing to prove. And last but not least, love is a command. Forgiveness is an act of obedience. Just wanted to drop those off and see can we wear those.
Wow, those are good nuggets. They're like diamonds. I don't know about the nuggets, but they're like diamonds.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, I like that one. You said life is tasteless without love. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Don't have no kind of flavor to it. Huh?
No flavor. Flavorless. And that's, when you, and not to get totally off on that, when you really think about what you think about, that's so true. I mean, it's just, it brings you into the reality that first and foremost, we're not here just to exist. Our Father said to cross all that situation so you can have the abundant life. Abundant, and you can have that if you just be in tune to what is really being said, let it sink in, sit in it, and then move in it. Just move in it. And that's continuous. For in and all, it was done for everybody. And everybody can have that, because nobody falls from the same tree and is different.
That's true.
All
of us are human. Anyway, I don't went off on a tangent, but
yeah, that makes me kind of think about a lot of people die early from a lack of love.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
they walking dead.
Yeah, they die early. I think that's why a lot of elderly people, or just people in general, buy cats and dogs and different things like that, so that they not be lonely or anything. But that is true. Life is tasteless without love.
Yeah.
And do you think people give up on life, even in relationships, when there is no love? Kind of showing itself in relationships, relationships die because there's love being, shown.
I had a friend of mine that had his mother pass, and his father passed, and soon as the father passed, the mother said, I don't want to live no more. So she started dying.
Yeah.
She would take her medicine, he would do nothing. She said, I'm going, his name happened to be Joe. And she said, I'm going to be with Joe.
Yeah.
6 months later, she was with Joe.
Yeah.
So that tells you something about that, Marilyn.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
It's the mind. It's the mind. Our mind is so powerful. And just think about some of us that might have had COVID. And I've heard, I didn't have this situation, but some of our taste buds went away. For a period of time, and how frustrating that was when you couldn't taste the food. And then some of our smell, you couldn't smell anything. So just imagine you not being able to have the taste of love in your life.
Yeah.
and just not have that.
You know, Faith, I remember with COVID, I think that's when I figured something was wrong. I couldn't smell my soap anymore. And, you know, it's just little things that, you know, we even buy aromas and different things like that to keep freshness around us. And just think about it, when you don't have that sweet aroma around you, you know, that was doing something to me. It made me think I wasn't clean because I couldn't smell the soap.
Your clothes too. If you don't use Tide and Gain, you can't smell nothing, right? So these clothes don't smell right. You know, I use the wrong detergent. Yes.
Wow. That's
good. Our senses are very important, aren't they?
Yes, they
sometimes they rule us. Go ahead, Joe. What you can say?
No, I was just thinking about what you all were talking about, and just kind of sitting in it for a second and listening. That's what it was. But
okay.
Yeah,
you got touched a little bit.
They were feeling the moment.
That's
one of my love languages. I got touched. You got to touch somebody's hand, a hard one.
Joe was back a moment.
Hey, we gotta get a fan over here.
Oh gosh, this is wonderful. It's wonderful, folks. It absolutely is.
Let's do a quick check-in. Joe, you got me tickling here. Just want to go around the room and see how everyone's doing before we kick it off. So glad to see everybody tonight. You know, we're talking about the 5 love languages, and guess what? We got 2 more that have been added to the list. I don't know if everyone knows those 2, but we'll get to that as well. So we just want to check and see how everyone's doing. Hi, Miss Shirley. How are you today?
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
Oh, you are loud and clear.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm trying to find my microphone so I can unmute as well.
You're fine.
No, the reason is because my family is calling me regarding the storm, and I'm trying to find the mute so I can mute it, but I can't find it, Miss Faith.
Oh, okay. Go to your microphone and just click on your microphone. Or I don't know. Let me see if I can mute you, Miss. I can mute you, Miss Shirley.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. I muted her. Okay. All right. So, Miss Nita, how are you doing tonight? Anita, are you there? Maybe she can't talk.
Yeah.
There she goes. There she goes.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I'm just coming in from work, trying to get out of this storm.
Yeah, get out the storm and get safe. We always catch you in the car, so I knew you on your way home. So thank you, Miss Nita, for just joining us tonight. And we're praying for that storm. We're praying for these winds to calm down. Ask God to redirect the storm totally out of Texas, right? Just pick it up and leave. It just left my house. And I think the winds here are almost 80 miles per hour. Oh. And so, yeah, it was really bad. My gas grill is in the yard somewhere. It blew it off the patio. Wow. Burned one of those real big ones is gone out there, but we thank God that my house is okay. I don't see any damage or anything, but it's pretty bad. So hurry up and get home and get locked in and protected. Cheryl, what's going on in Chicago? Miss Cheryl Dunlap, are you there?
I
think she was earlier. I think she
okay, thank you for that report. I was wondering what was going on in Fort Worth. I found it. I was wondering what was going on in Fort Worth because I just spoke with my sister not too long ago that's in Hamilton Park area. And but when she told me it was in Fort Worth, and so glad to know that you're okay. Yes, it's okay about that grill, but as long as you're Oh, yeah, as long as you're fine, and that is just perfect.
Yeah, it's the grill is okay. I've never been the storms since living here about 5-6 years now in this house. I've never seen the winds like this before.
Oh, my.
So forceful that it will blow an object that heavy that far out.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's all I would say. I don't care about that grill because I don't use it anyway.
Have you found your safe spot?
Use it. I don't use it. Huh?
Have you found your safe spot in your house, in your apartment?
Yes.
Where?
Oh, Miss Shirley, I've been in, we've been through a lot of tornado.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I got my safe spot. It's just this wind. It's not tornadic.
Oh, okay.
So much, but it's the wind.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, we thank God it's gone on. So it's going towards east,
Yes, coming to us.
I'm not sending it nowhere.
I know.
I'm not sending it anywhere, but I know God has us. We speak to the winds and we pray, and we're gonna be just fine.
And I sure wanted to meet Miss Marilyn. She's off the phone now, but I got to see her. So I am so sorry that I was handicapped in trying to get online.
Well, that's okay. You'll have plenty of opportunity to meet. She'll be back. She might even jump back in after her meeting or whatever she's tending to. So
I'm shutting up now. Thank you.
Oh. Hi, Miss Evelyn. How are you tonight?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you all doing?
Good. Good.
Awesome.
We're glad you're on tonight.
Yes, ma'am. Glad to be on.
Yeah. Miss Rock, I don't know who iPhone is. So if anybody who is iPhone, I don't know the name, or who needs to put their name maybe out there. I don't know who that is, but welcome. Welcome to iPhone iPhone user. Okay, Robin. Hey sis, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. It's good to see y'all. Sorry not seeing me. I'm twisting my hair, so
okay. Twist
y'all get some storms out over there, all the way over there. My goodness.
Don't let it scare you. Come on. Don't let
it's good to see you.
Every area has their own thing,
Yes, that's true.
But this is the month, March and April, and it know that we mostly get storms. So
okay.
March, April into May.
Yeah, we know how to weather it. We weather the storm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Learn how. I'm gonna make it over there.
Okay.
All right.
Wait.
Welcome.
Oh.
We're waiting on you. Hey, Miss Chick, how are you? How are you doing tonight?
Hello, Relational Real Talk family.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a while, y'all. I'm just about to get on this treadmill. I hadn't been on there since my 50th birthday, but
happy belated birthday. I said happy birthday to you earlier, but we're gonna again.
Well, I'm getting ready to go to Cancun for a week. We're gonna leave on Saturday. And I'm just now trying to get on the treadmill, y'all. So I don't know what that's gonna do, but anyways, Mrs. Shirley Witherspoon, did I see you on here?
Yes, she
is.
Chick.
Hey, girl.
I love you, Mrs. Shirley. Y'all, Miss Shirley.
Good. I'm so glad to see you, but I don't see you. I see a beautiful picture of you. So I'd like to see your beautiful face.
Well, I'm getting on the treadmill, but let me see. Hold on.
Hey, that's you. Yeah, that face. That's that sweet girl.
Y'all don't know the story. Miss Shirley would fix me up. That's my Steinmore buddy. When Steinmore, she fixed me up, and I would go on dates, and until I met my mate, she and I shared a lot of what we talk about in this group, relational things. So Miss Shirley is really, yes, imagine that. She was really coaching me along, and Miss Shirley, I end up marrying her church member's brother.
Oh, okay.
So you remember Miss Shirley, Sonia?
Yes.
That is my husband's sister. So
I think I forgot. You did tell me. Yeah.
Yes. So how ironic that we would end up on this together when we were always talking about dating. And like I said, y'all, we shared a lot of intimate things, and I was really praying for a husband. Miss Shirley, I've been married 5 years on Tuesday.
You know, I see you every now and again on Facebook, and you guys are travelers, and you just look so gorgeous. I don't care what you have on. You guys already look like your brother, sister, and I'm just so happy to see you.
Thank you. I'm happy to see you too. I love you. Y'all, I appreciate y'all letting me take the time to tell me Shirley how I love her.
I love you too.
And again, it had a lot to do with what we talk about, relationships. So right on time. Glad to see you, Miss Shirley. Love you. All of y'all.
Amazing.
Love you
Miss
guys.
Shirley, hey, shit. Miss Shirley is our star contributor. So
really?
Yeah, girl. She's
just saying that. She's been sweet.
No. She's been bringing so much value to the room. It's
I know.
To hear.
I can imagine she did to my life. I never understood how a woman so beautiful was still single, and we just bonded, and we just love each other ever since.
That's
way
right.
back in time. So
that's right.
It's called reconnection.
Yeah, just like Mr. Joe.
Yeah,
glad you're on this line too.
What was that?
I'm so glad Chick is on this line too. I'm so glad.
I step in every once in a while. Yeah, it's humbling to me to remember how it was when you were single. It keeps me humble because I remember, the time. So
that's
yes,
right.
And like I said, Mr. Joe, you can't mention his name in our family. They think he is part of our what you say about Joe? They ready to
I love Mr. Joe.
Yeah, so and Faith, we just family now. We've spend so much time together. So yeah, I come in every once in a while. Like I said, it keeps me humble to remember those times of being single.
Now that I've gotten to know a little bit more about Faith, I love me some Faith.
Yes, ma'am.
We love you, Miss Shirley. We love, even though I knew Miss Shirley before this Zoom to our relational real talk, but it's funny, we didn't really know each other till we started talking. And I said, I got pictures with you. What are you talking? I know you. So yeah, so it's just wonderful, and then how we can connect with others, and that's what relational real talk is all about.
That's right.
These relationships and it's relational, and we just talk, and we're real people, right? We're real people, real things in life. So let's see. Oh, Tamara, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Just enjoying listening to y'all. Y'all just
I know. Wait, don't you think you was gonna get away with me not going to coming to you though?
I was thinking maybe, just maybe.
Nah.
That ain't gonna happen. That is not going to happen. Well, I think that's everyone right now, but as those are coming to the room, we'll probably reset the room and let them know what we're talking about tonight, or they'll just catch on. They'll just catch on to what we're talking about. So tonight we're talking about the 5 love languages. So before we start the conversation, if you all, and it might be difficult, you can just say, open your mics and say yay, nay. Okay, just trying to get a temperature about the room. How many of you already know what the 5 love languages are? If you have know how to raise your hand, if you raise your hand, we can kind of see what how if everybody knows about it, or where we are, or you can put in the chat.
Chick say I forgot.
Okay, Chick, that's cool.
Yeah.
Or you can put it in the chat, either one. I just want to kind of see. We're going to go over them, but just to know.
I had to revisit them.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I know Chick heard me, but anyway, trying to see where we are. But anyway, because if you don't know the 5 love languages, or you don't know what your love language is, hopefully by tonight by what we talk about, you can probably find out what your love languages are. And if not, out on the web, if you type it in your browser, the 5 love languages, they have a test out there, a free test that you can take, an assessment that will tell you, after answering the questions, what your 5 love languages are or what you kind of gear more to, you know, the ones, what they are. Oh, that's my, wait, oh, that's 3. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were talking about that. Okay, so anyway, okay, so we have Gary Chapman years ago wrote a book called The 5 Love Languages. And those 5 love languages have been very, well, I guess, very targeted to how couples relate to each other, or how you will relate to one who you're in relationship with, as far as what your preferences are and how you speak love. Because, you know, this month or last month, we have been talking about teach me how to love. So in order to communicate how you like to be loved, it's good to know these 5 love languages so you can give a clear definition of what you like, you know, as a person. Now, these are not holistic, meaning that you can't explain any other type of love that you like, but these are just guides, I would say, to kind of guide you in that direction. So we're going to kind of go through each love language one at a time. And if you could, you know, open up your mic and let's talk about, you know, each one, and then we can go on to the next. So the first one, Joe, do you have anything before we start?
Yeah, let me just say this before we get into them. And it's the 5 different ways to express love at an emotional level. This is, we're talking at an emotional level. And so carry on, Faith. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for saying that. Okay, so so the first one is words of affirmation. Okay, now how you communicate words of affirmation could be by showing appreciation, listening to someone very attentively, saying to them, I appreciate you for doing this, that, and that. I like how you do this. You sure look good tonight.
Yeah.
I love the restaurant that you chose tonight. You know, all these, you smell good tonight. You know, all those things to affirm the person. You have such a loving heart, you know, as far as telling someone how they how their character is and how it relates to you. It could be words, it's such as that. I like how you speak to me. I like how you treat me. You're such a great man of valor, integrity. You're such a great leader. You know, all these things, you're building that person up and giving them that love language to esteem them, to make them feel good. Okay. So that communication is very important to the person that has this love language. And also it's very important, if you have that love language, that you know how to communicate it to someone who asks you.
That's right.
What is your love language? So if you like words of affirmation, then you can explain it to them, because everybody doesn't know about these 5 love languages.
That's right.
So you could be the one that shares the light or sheds the light for someone else about how to communicate. And that's communication, Joe, is so important in a relationship. If you don't have communication, then it's very hard to have a very fruitful relationship, because we have to communicate, right? Do you have anything right now, Joe, as far as?
No, I was just, I mean, just to listen to, you know, to what you were saying. And I think one of the key things, well, you said a lot of key things, to be honest, in that, but to be listen intensely to what is being said. mean that I listen and I look at you eye to eye contact to let you know I'm present here
in the moment.
And I'm present, and what you have to say is important to me. And then, and you know, even when you go back to leaders are great listeners, learners, then lead. And if I learn of you, I go back to that movie Stomp the Yard, and he's getting ready to marry this young lady. He didn't even know her color, what color she liked. But he had this big ring he was getting ready to give her. She said, what is my favorite color? He said, oh, you know, green, blah, blah, blah. But I seen it. He did not even know her love language. And if a person, I don't know your love language till I ask you what is your love language and explain it. That way I don't have to assume. I don't have to assume your love language because I already know. Yeah. So I think you have to ask that person and listen to see, and they'll tell you. Yeah.
Right. That's good. So, you know, one statement that I think would really be affirming, and if you all writing this down, so if your significant other, your husband, your boyfriend, your whatever, if they are, you know, have their love language of words of affirmation, one would be, I am glad to have you in my life.
Mm-hmm.
How affirming is that? To tell somebody that they are so glad that you are in my life and that you bring value to my life, you bring love to my life. That just make you want to smile.
Yeah.
And everything, like woo. You know, and the breath feel good, at chest all, you know, out and everything, you know. So the words of affirmation are so very important, you know. You know, even in communication, an affirmation could be by texting. If y'all like to text during the day, if you're at work and you're having a really, really hard day, and like your partner or whatever sends you a message in your phone and says, oh, I just miss you, I just blah blah blah, or whatever, that just brightens up your day when it's a hard day. You know, so you can do many different things in order to communicate to your partner words of affirmation.
That's right.
You can, you know, these little sticky notes that we have at work. I know I bought some during COVID because I was at home, but I have some in my desk. So you could put a little note on your sticky note and put it in the bathroom on the mirror in the morning, and put it up there and tell them little words, you know, whatever you want to say. That's another way of communicating. That's a surprise almost, because you normally don't look, you know, in the morning when you get up and opening your eyes, brush your teeth, and you see this I love you note, you know, right there.
Sure, absolutely.
So there are different ways, you know, on how we can communicate how much we care. And that's really important, how we do that, you know, how and communicate that, because we never want to take anyone for granted, you know, especially when they are out there, you know, doing whatever they do for you or personally or for themselves or for family or whatever. And, you know, take for instance, if I were married, I'm washing dishes every day, cooking every day, 3 meals a day, slaving over the stove and everything. And my husband comes in and he said, where's my food?
Ooh.
Where's my food? Where's your food? It's on that stove over there. And well, why is my plate not on the table?
Yeah.
Well, because it's in the cupboard and you need to go get your plate. And you know what I'm saying? You don't want that type of behavior. If I am a words of affirmation. That's one of my love languages. So the best thing to do is, hello, honey, how are you? Did you have a good day? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, let's see what you have to eat for dinner, you know.
Yeah.
It smells so good. Then that would really get you a meal. Oh, it smells so good. I can't wait. Okay, stimulates me to want to please or
Right.
want, to want to in turn give to the other person. Affirmation just gets you going in the right direction. The negativity like that, or the expectancy, like, I know you're gonna have it ready. That's for me. I think, hey, that's not good.
No.
Not a good way, because that will turn you off or take you in another attitude, that you don't want to have, right?
Yes.
So anybody have any thoughts on how many words of affirmation sisters that we have in the house tonight, or brother Joe? That might be for you. Anybody want to open their mics and let's talk about that?
Hey, sure. So I am a definitely words of affirmation. I give that to my kids, to whomever, but it also got me in trouble because words are so important to me that I would listen to the words and not look at behavior when it came to relationships. I write, I journal, words are so much, they mean so much, but because they mean so much, I had to learn wisdom behind the words and just really start learning to look at not just the words of what people are saying, but their behavior behind that. So, and of course, a lot of times it didn't match.
Right.
So that's something I had to learn through some hard experiences. But you learn wisdom.
By far.
Wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Robin, to
Mm-hmm.
just say a little bit more about that. Once you learn the lesson, it won't appear anymore.
Right.
Say that last part again.
I said, once you learn the lesson, it won't have to appear anymore.
I know that's right. Yes.
So we live and learn. I guess that's what I'm saying in a nutshell. But we go through. Yeah. But where you are now is a different place, and that's a wonderful thing. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Anybody else in the room? Words of affirmation. Affirming the person. It's go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to confirm. Well, that's definitely one of my. I am a person of affirmation who encourages, motivates, and even have to self-motivate. But yes, I encourage it for my kids, strangers. It just depends, even a husband, if I had a husband, but even my ex-husband, so he was encouraged even no matter what I was going, still believe, stirred up that you can do it, you can obtain it. And so it's all about, I believe it's the heart. And if your heart is tender enough to let God use you, then you're going to be speaking what he wants you to get to that person when they don't believe. So that's one thing. Yeah.
Thank you, Tamara. Anyone else? Words of affirmation.
Yes, words of affirmation. Today, I wrote a note to a lady that's turning 85 years old on Sunday. And when I met her, it was such a beautiful meeting. She's so elegant and she's so sophisticated. And when I went to visit her, I just love, the way she responds. Her outfit is together, her hair is together, what she put on her feet is together, her linen is together, everything. And so her birthday, and so I didn't say, hey, because she has other friends too, of course, and let me take you out to eat. I wrote her a note. I buy blank cards. And so since I'm a paper crafter, I added some embellishment on the outside of the card. It's a really pretty card. And I wrote her a note. I told her what a pleasure it was to meet such an elegant woman and how she's aging beautifully and how she represents our culture so excellently. And I'm just so proud that our path crossed. And, you know, words of affirmation and words of assurance. And I like words like Robin, and words have a lot of meaning. And when a person give me words and I believe they're sincere, it has a lot of meaning to me. And so for a lady of her status that has everything, I thought I'd do something a little different for her. Yes, we'll go out to eat later on, may not be for a special occasion, but I just gave her words of affirmation. You know, I wasn't thinking about our line tonight. And I'm like, oh my God, here we are talking about it. So it's just like, it's so perfect to just bring up because I just did it today. So that's what my contribution is. And I know other people on this line that has words of affirmation.
So, Miss Shirley, you just came, you were ready, and you were locked and loaded, weren't you?
Yes, you were.
Fresh off the press today.
Yeah.
And you just walked into it. That's how great God is. You know, he'll put situations right there in our lap, you know, and then we activate. We're activating this whole month, the whole month of February. We've been talking about teach me how to love. And we've had so many times of love experiences.
Yes.
I mean, everybody might not communicate what they've experienced during the month, but it was great to hear that as well about your love story, or, you know, what happened to you that made you change or shift or have a new outlook on love, how it feels, you know, or how you were treated. Cheryl, you have something? Cheryl, your mic's open. Do you have something? Cheryl? Hello? She might, I don't know if she's trying to. Cheryl, are you there? Okay, that mic just can't open. Hold on 1 second. Okay, she muted it. Okay, all right. And so we have so many different experiences, you know, during the month. Just think about it, and you might not have thought about it, but, you know, after some thought, you know, just think how many times you were able to show love and how many times love has come back to you.
About 4.
Those expressions. What did you say, Joe?
No, that's so true. I was just affirming what you were saying.
Oh,
affirmation again.
Affirmation. Thank you.
Okay. Well,
thank you for the affirmation.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
We do it, but we don't have a name to it. We don't, you know, we don't have that association. We affirm, I think we have a lot of affirmation, but we just don't say, oh, that's affirmation. Now we've identified it, and now we can associate our behavior with that type of love. Words of affirmation. Okay, so that's number 1. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 is physical touch. Nonverbal. There's no talking. Nonverbal use of your body, your body language, and touch to show love.
Yeah. That's good.
Now, how many of us have physical touch as one of their love languages? Okay, so Joe's one. Oh, Joe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of mine. It's physical touch. Anybody else? Anybody else have physical touch as a love language? Don't be shy. It's not
I like to hug when greeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do too.
Don't get shy about it. I hug all the time. And then, Miss Nita. Okay, let's go. Nita, you can open up your mic, and then Chick will get you next. Anita, can you hear? You can open your mic.
Yes, I you put me on the spot, but yeah, that's me. I like it.
Oh, I did. You had your hand raised.
I did, but I had it raised. But yes, I am a touchy person. I mean, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like words of affirmation. I mean, that's just me. I like. I mean, I'm that type of person that wants to go. Want to be the one that's walking in the park holding hands and stuff like that. That's me.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it is. That
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, the physical touch is important. Like, okay, for me, during COVID, I was grieving. Okay, because everybody didn't want to be touched. No, nobody wanted to be hugged.
Right.
Like, ooh, and so once you don't live with somebody, you don't get touched a whole lot. It's like you're really like craving it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So COVID took me through on that area with the physical thing. So Miss Chick, can you want to open up your mic? Oh, you okay, on the trip, you can't talk. Okay, because I thought your hand was up. Okay. We understand. Okay, so physical touch. Physical touch could be hugs, kisses, cuddling. Let's see, I'm trying to get some hand holding,
Mm-hmm.
hugging. We said hugging. I'm trying to think of some other ways of physical touch. Just that nonverbal, anything nonverbal and touching is an example. Can y'all give me some more examples? I'm kind of out.
They say kissing, touching
hugging.
someone while talking with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Cuddling. Yeah, that's good. Touching someone while talking. Those are some examples.
Yeah. There's a man in my church that I don't want. Oh.
Wait a minute. Okay, there's a man. This is Miss Shirley. I don't know why Miss Shirley ain't talking about it. You can come off the mic and say what you want. But anyway, Miss Shirley said, there's a man in my church that I don't want to hug. He's extremely big and tall, and it's awkward. Oh, okay. I can understand that. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one, Robin. Playing in someone's hair. I do that when I'm talking with my daughter. Yeah, that's a good one. That is so good.
Yeah.
You gonna say something, Jeff?
No, I was saying that what you would, that's affirmation, not trying to get off the topic and spin it over the children, but children needs to be affirmed too as well.
Yeah.
And they have their love language. You could tell a kid you love them, but they have to feel that. They have to feel your love. And playing in their hair, all those things that, I mean, it's a form of communicating with your child to say, and they know, long as, not just words, you can say you love them, they have to feel that from you. That has to be mimicked in front of them. Even the adults, they see the adults being loving, kind-hearted towards each other, that will definitely make a great impact on them in the center of love and knowing what that looks like. It's just, just to say a little bit more about that,
You know what? Also, it says body language.
Yeah.
Always have like my granddaughter. No.
You're going in and out, right?
Oh, going in and out?
Yeah, now you are.
Oh, okay. My granddaughter Nova, she's almost 4. And every time she comes over, I do my little surprise, we play our little stuff like that. So she knows when she comes, I play the game. She likes that. We have our little facial, expressions, and we laugh and giggle. and we have a good time. Then she affirms me back because she gets excited. She's like, I'm going to Omar's house. You know, she a little bit affirms to me that she really gets excited about coming to my house.
That's right.
We're going to have this interaction. We love each other. She comes and gives me a kiss. You know, that is the physical touch.
Yes.
And it's not always in a romantic relationship. It could be with anybody.
Yes.
Anybody. So children, you're right. Children need that as well.
Oh, yeah.
They need that. They need really all of it, really, when they're small, because love sometimes is hard to go around with children, you know, in certain situations. Sometimes they don't have it all the time. So we really have to just overwhelm them with love so they'll grow up being able to share love.
Right.
They don't get these walls around them that they can't express themselves loving manner. Okay, so we talked about how we communicate that physical touch, also the actions that we can take in order to display physical touch. Am I trying to say something? Okay. I'm going to try to mute. Okay. And then the things to avoid with physical touch is physical neglect or abuse. And that's what we don't want to have. We don't want to physically neglect someone with physical touch. Meaning that, you know, if you're in a relationship, you never get a hug, you never get a kiss, you never get to hold hands, you never get to sit on the couch and look at a movie and just be hand in hand or just arm in arm or, you know, anything, you know, no type of physical touch. That's not what we want to show, or not the behavior not to have. We want to not neglect people and starve them from
right.
that physical touch. Or we don't want abuse. We already know that. We don't want any abusive behavior with physical touch. Do you have anything, Joe?
No, I was just saying, yeah, you know, that's again to affirm what you're saying about that. And I think too, we have to realize that loving actually is in the best interest of the other person. And you want to be able to add value to that person's life. And I think if you don't look out for their best interest, I don't think you really love that person.
Right.
And how may I help you to be better as our Lord and Savior wants us to be better? What can I do to make it? Is there anything I can do to make things better for you so you can be the best person you can be?
Mm-hmm. And you know, and even sometimes when we pray as a family, we'll join hands.
Yes.
That's physical touch.
Yes.
You know, that's saying we agree in, you know, brotherly love, you know, putting your hands one to another. So that is another form of physical touch. Anyone else or anyone else have any other comments on this? Miss Shirley, you have anything? Or Camera? Robin, anyone else on physical touch before we move on? Okay, Joe, do you want to do one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe, I don't know if we're in the same order, but let's go to gifts. I mean, that's a universal thing of saying, I'm thinking of you. You know, and it could be going buying something or just giving gifts of you know, I don't want to go into the other ones. It's kind of a whole different ball game, but gifts has always been a way of expressing certain things, and giving gifts, giving flowers, all of those things are something we, you know, I guess the month of February, that bar may be raised a little bit higher, but I think when you consistent in giving, it can be given of time, kind words.
Oh, yeah.
It can be, I know you're tired, dear. You ain't got to worry about cooking tonight. I'll go get something, yada, yada, yada. You had a long day, just relax. Whole lot of things of that nature. And like I say, that comes from a place of not be so self-centered that you miss what's going on with the other one. And it's, right words spoken at the right time because you are in tune. I'm in present moment with you. I don't know if all that makes sense, but it's some sense in it. I think so.
The time. When you said time, I think that is a great gift.
Yes.
Because no one can buy time.
No, no.
We only have 24 hours in a day, and we can't buy anymore depending on our economic standing. Everybody got the same amount of time, but it's how we use it.
That's right.
And
absolutely.
So if you're important to, or if someone says you're important and they spend time with you, and that kind of we'll talk about quality time in a minute,
yes.
but the gift of time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really very valuable gift. Especially if they're very busy, or if they have a schedule where they work long shifts, or they work 6 days a week, and they only have one day off, and they give you a half a day of their time when they need to wash and pay bills, all what they do in one day, when some of us might have two days off,
Yes.
and work hard or work at night, those types of occupations, and they give you time, or or the gift of time. I think that is very, very powerful. And gifts, I was just thinking about it, not to in my horn or anything, but the gifts that we can give from what we already have.
That's right.
I have a friend that lost everything in a fire. Lost their house, lost their clothes, lost their shoes, lost their intimate wear, lost everything. They had nothing, right? And so I have a whole bunch of clothes I need to get rid of. So I just put some clothes that I thought was appropriate for that time, when it happened, put them in my trunk, and I drove to them, and they met, and I just filled up their SUV with clothes, because they're just sitting. They're just hung up, and and I was supposed to take them to give away to a shelter or whatever, but I didn't do that. But I have now somebody that I could give a gift.
That's right.
And she received them, and happy. And I was, just, she wanted to give me money for them. I said, oh, no.
That's right.
No, nope. I had to give that away. And so, sometimes we can give those gifts, and they
Yes.
don't cost us anything.
That's right.
They might cost a little time, but that's a gift too. So you get two gifts of love, right? The time and whatever you
That's
do,
right. That's
right?
true.
So yeah, sometimes we can do that, and it doesn't cost us anything.
That's right.
It doesn't cost us any effort, And guess what? Another gift that we can give is sometimes, I think, sometimes, I'm sorry, what we need to do is just pick up our phone and call someone to check on them to see how they're doing.
Yes.
So sometimes you could have a friend who is so strong. Oh yeah, they're strong. Ain't nothing wrong with them. But they could be going through a situation, feeling, a certain way, or something might have impacted them in their lives. And they need a call just for someone to say, I care. I just want to see how you're doing, check on you. Sometimes we can give those gifts by just taking 5 minutes. It might end up to an hour phone conversation, but just to check in with those you haven't heard from that, might just need your love. A gift of love, just by a conversation. So, some of the most simple things could have the most value.
That's right.
The most
gift of time is short periods of time. That was Shirley put it in the box.
Yeah, Miss Shirley, why are you putting stuff in the box? I'm used to hearing your voice. And she's trying to be off the mic. So
because I just learned how to use it tonight and I'm enjoying it.
So you
okay, good for you. That is great. That's great. Yeah.
Shut the chat down. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so for me, I don't enjoy all the time spending a lot of time with people, unless the conversation is fluid. But like some elderly people, friends, they like to talk about their I mean, I know I'm old and I have a lot of problems, but they enjoy or they like to talk about their ailments too much. And then they don't want to accept solutions. I'm solution driven because of my training as an RN. And once I make my assessment, I hear what you got to say. And once I make my assessment and I evaluate the whole situation, I'm ready to give you a plan. And so many people don't like that. And that's a process for me, because when people complain, I'm thinking they want help with that, or they just want to vent, but I don't enjoy that kind of gifted time. But there are certain people that I have known for years, grew up with, they're elderly, older than me. Now, some young too, that I call. But that phone call is not going to be 5 or 10 minutes. How you doing, Miss Wilson? I would just call to check on you. You doing okay? Your daughter coming down for the holidays? Okay, and then maybe I'll take her a nothing burger over to her house. That's not a lot of time. There's a couple of single classmates that I know that's not as vibrant, maybe as me, or don't get around and do things. And so I'll call, but it's a short period of time, because if I get together with her one-on-one, I'm going to be so nervous by the end of that time I spend with her, because the conversation is just not going to go well. And so I don't know if I have a gift of time. You guys tell me based on what I've just shared with you. Or I think these gifts are in degrees, perhaps, like on some kind of continuum, or maybe some kind of scale, like on a scale of 0 to 10, how much, what number would you assign to your thinking that of your gift of time? I don't know how to measure that. So, Robin, so based on what I've offered, what do you think? Do I have a gift of time? Robin.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a gift of time, Miss Robin?
I don't know.
I know, based on what I've shared.
Yeah.
But
I don't, yeah.
You weren't listening.
I was. Oh, I'm definitely listening. I'm just trying to see what a gift of time. You mean giving your time?
Yes, time. That's the way I understand it from Faith and Joe.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I don't think that you have to, honestly, I don't think that you have to give a lot of time when you're giving the concern and the love and the compassion.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can still have that gift. And I mean, I'm listening to you using wisdom, you know, with the time that you are allotted or that you allow yourself to be involved in other people's lives. So, yeah.
So the gift of time, there's no measurement for the length of time you spend. Is what? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I
But
think,
you know what? Let me just say this then, because what you just said is just caused something else to bubble up. I think that love languages, whatever they are, the rest of them are, I think it's basic love that we're talking about, because
Mhm.
these languages are going to expose themselves at some time along the pathway of this faithful walk, of this faith walk we have. They may not all come out or be measured by the same capacity, but I believe as Christians, and with our command to love, that all of us that claim Jesus is the Father is going to exemplify, is going to show one of these languages at some points in their life. It's got to be part of it. Earlier, before I could get my microphone on, I was listening to Marilyn talk about, you guys were opening up and you were talking about love, just in general love. And for some reason, I was looking for something on YouTube. I like to watch YouTube. I do a lot of paper crafting, so I like to watch that. But somehow this Alex Murdaugh trial thing popped up. You guys probably are familiar with that, are you? Or are you not?
A little bit. I mean, I didn't look at it every day.
Okay, a little bit. Well, I didn't know anything about it until today because I don't have cable. And I used to just look at news all the time, and it just made me so depressed. So anyway, this Alex Murdaugh trial popped up in YouTube, and I said, what is this? Why am I looking at all this? And so as it turned out, this lawyer, who's from a family of lawyers, and who became well known in his community, ran into financial problems. Not only did he steal from his own law practice, but he killed his wife and his son, and he's on trial for this, even though the police messed up a lot of the scene and all that stuff. And so my niece was talking to me about it. I asked her, has she been looking at that? So she sent me the information that he was found guilty. And when I came on, I didn't know that, because I heard you guys talking about love. And I said, that's no love. That man did not love, even if he was in a financial difficulty. If he had love for his wife and his son, he has a surviving son, he couldn't have killed for no reason, even if it was for the money. And that's the problem when we have lack of love in this world. I mean, once that thing took his mind, and once he entertained it, sin is going to destroy you, and it's going to result in death. Not only death of whoever you want to kill, but death of your own soul. And that's what happened when you don't have love.
Yeah.
That's true.
That is true.
But I think, Miss Shirley, and I think the key to with the love languages, like relationally so, if we're not in a space of total communication, and this is really not anything tied with what you're just saying, but to have that correlation, in order to have that relational love language, just to know what that person needs to feel love, and for that person to give you back what you need, right? Not saying that you have to have these defined love. What's your love language? What's your no, we're not saying that, but through discovery, I think as you develop your relationship, if you know these areas, or if you're aware or been exposed to these love languages, it'll be very easy for you to kind of, target what types of ways this person receives love, and it's easier for you to identify and give that love to that person, but it's also expected in some form or fashion in that relationship for you to receive the love that you that you need as well. And
I understand exactly what you're saying, that fine line. The way you express it is what we're talking about tonight, is how we express that. I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But see, but Miss Shirley, now what I did, and we haven't gone through all of them yet, and there are two extra ones, or two new ones that just hit the press within the last weeks that we have to, I was going to tell you about too. But what I did was I took these 5 love languages and I put them in order.
Oh,
because I need them all. Look, I want them all, but I put them in what to me in category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What would be my first one? What would be my second one? What was my third one?
I see.
I need less of, but everybody's different.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Welton, it's not on tonight, but he wanted me to tell you guys we have the same love languages. And
you and him?
Yeah, in the same order.
Wow.
So it's easy for us to relate because we both have the same thing. And it's a blessing. I've never seen it like that before.
Wow. That's good.
Well, I meant to have my pen and pad tonight, and I was just thrown off because of the weather. And I want to write down the names of these, but I'll get it later. And maybe I can watch the video or
on YouTube.
Oh yeah, okay. The love language.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. Did you know
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you can go back and hear the replay.
Oh no, well I'm gonna stop talking.
No.
What are you talking about?
No.
No, I'm just saying because you like to look at the YouTube.
I do, YouTube. Yes.
So you can, if one Thursday you're not here and you want to see what happened, you could go out there and listen to the replay.
Yeah.
Well, how do I find it? Under what name?
Well, I'll show you. I'll call
Text
you.
it to me later. Okay.
I will. I'll call you and catch you up.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then Faith, when you call me, let's talk about also how to put my picture on here, like all the rest of these ladies.
Yes, ma'am. We will do that.
Okay.
Okay. I'll get you straight. Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Joe. So you were talking about receiving gifts, right?
Yeah, that was a gift. Yes. And I think we expounded on that pretty good. Listen, somebody else in the room have something else to say. And Faith, I turn it back over to you. You go with the next one in your order.
In my order. Okay. Hey, Tanisha, how are you doing? Mr. Davis, Daryl, how you doing tonight? So good to have you on. I just want to get everybody, since we have some additional family members in the room tonight, we're talking about the 5 love languages, what they are, how we communicate them, how we take action.
How you doing, ma'am?
Hi, Daryl.
I was trying to give you some need.
Okay. Amen.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, soldier.
Yeah.
All right, soldier. I'm real.
Okay, we're glad you're here. And
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Whenever you can contribute, feel free to open up your mic, okay? And so things to avoid, and those things as far as the love languages. So we've gone over words of affirmation, we've gone over physical touch, and we just finished receiving gifts. So the 4th one that we are going to talk about, and wait a minute, before I move on, Tanisha, do you know what your 5 love languages are, or do you have a love language or anything you want to say?
I know mine's is for as like a giver. That is mine.
Oh, you like receiving gifts?
Huh? Well, no, I like giving out gifts.
Oh, you like to give gifts.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a giver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I guess you could say I'm not used to getting gifts because the type of relationships I was in. And so I've always been a strong, independent person. So, you know, if someone was to offer me something, like I said before, like I was like, okay, what do you want? You know, what do you want in return? Because that's something I'm not used to. And I know that's something that I need to work on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You could get kind of a little suspicious. Well, what's your motive, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, what's your motive? Okay, well, thank you, Tanisha, for sharing that. Okay, Miss Shirley, you have something you want to say before I move on?
No, I don't. Thank
Okay,
you.
just want to make sure. Okay, so the next one is quality time.
Oh yeah.
So we talked a little bit about time, but now we're going to talk about quality time, which is uninterrupted. Like Joe was saying, you know, having that one-on-one, eye to eye. I'm all in you, you know, what you're saying. I'm attentive, that type of time, quality time, and being focused. And also in your conversations, focus and what they're saying, focus to understand what the person is communicating, you know, and so that's an example of quality time. And one-on-one is so important. Sometimes we have to get out of our normal environment in order to have quality time, especially if if you have children or a certain time of day, everybody comes home and the phone rings and you need to give that person quality time. Sometimes you got to go and lock yourself up in the bathroom or somewhere so they can't find you, so you could have that one-on-one quality time. You know, so you have that carved out time where you can spend one-on-one with the person and be able to dedicate your attention to them, and you'll be able to have some really good conversation, or be able to relate to one another, but not being distracted, having distractions around you.
That's right.
Joe, you have anything on that quality?
Well, yeah, I had a few notes, and it was quality time is like, again, giving the others your undivided attention. And not sitting on the couch watching TV. That's not quality time. It's and quality time says that we cut the television off, we cut the phone off, we cut the computer off, and we are talk. We may even take a walk together just to talk and be in tune. But it's tuning up all of that. We are in present moment, and we're present in that moment with that person. And the way that if Faith said something to me in that quality time, I can repeat back what she said. Because that means I'm in tune. Or you may say, well, dear, was this what you were saying? Yes, because again, you are present. You're not distant. Right. And if the phone rang, it just rings. Because at this moment, this is quality time for both, and we should both feel good about it because, again, and I don't want to sound repetitious, we are in tune with each other. And from that time, quality time, I think it builds up, and there's a part in here, and I don't want to rush it, where you talk about a metaphor where you build the love tank.
Okay.
And when you have that quality time, your love tank is full. So you're more in tune with that person. You're excited to get home to that person or to get in the proximity of that person.
Mm-hmm.
And it builds. You enjoy the company, and then we know how to tune the outside out and spend this time, because it builds us into a space where we learn each other's love language. And also we're more flexible. If maybe say, it's like you and I, and you may say, Faith, baby, can we take a walk? You say, yeah, of course, let's go take a walk today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more than a walk. It's about the quality time spent together. That's kind of my little points on that, Faith.
You know, I had two things. Me and Joe have been spending a lot of quality time together on Thursday nights for several years. And they're as friends, as brother and sister, we have been from one to another. And in that, we have learned to get to know one another.
Yeah.
And we spent quality time. Another tip that might be good, that works for me, if you are in a long distance relationship, like I am, what we do, and y'all might laugh, but what we do, we look at TV together. And that's so we might we'll go to Netflix or whatever and pick out a movie, and we will start it at the same time. And we are actually looking at it together. Right. And we're commenting, and laughing at the same time, whatever. If one have to go to the restroom, we just say pause. We go pause and we say, what number are you on now? Right. We going back up and we sync together again and we go forward. That's quality time for us when we take that time to look at documentaries, wherever we want to look at on TV, movies, shows, whatever. That's what we do. Yeah, that's like a date night, if you will. Wow. Yeah, so you do what works for you, right? You might have to improvise if you're not in the same geographic location. So sometimes you have to improvise, right? Right. Get that quality time.
Right. But yeah, that's great. And I was also listening to Dr. Gary Chapman. How they do it at military situation was where one of the soldiers' wife would cut her handprint out on paper, and she mailed it to her husband. And every time he wants to think of her, he put the hand that she cut out on the paper, he put his hand on her. But he's with her hand on paper, she felt the long distance closeness. And I thought he was talking about that, and I thought that was innovative. That's beautiful. And,
that is beautiful.
Yeah, and I think we understand the creative energy that we have within us. Mm-hmm. If something is important enough, you will do everything within yourself to make sure that we stay as close as possible. But I think it's all driven when you have the love of God in your heart, and it's heartfelt. You can feel that from a distance, and you can feel it present moment, even at a distance, because it's matters of the heart, I think. Right. Anyway, yeah.
So that quality time. Okay. So we talked about that. Anybody have any comments about quality time before we move on?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Like you, my niece that lives in California and I have spent many New Year's Eve together over the phone when they have the shows before the New York ball comes down. So I understand that kind of quality time. Sometimes on my birthday or her birthday, we'll spend time on the phone just talking about various issues. And so that's quality time. But when I first meet a new person, like a new girlfriend, then there's going to be quality time because I'm trying to get to know who that person is, what she think about, what she talk about, how she sees the world around her, and the same with the man. If a man come into my life or in the past, when I first meet a man, I want to spend quality time. No TV, no radio. I'm not an R&B listener anyway, but no radio or none of that. Let's just talk, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And so quality time is very important when building a relationship, and it's very important when sustaining a relationship. If I'm on the phone talking to you and another call, if I'm talking to Faith and then Joe is trying to call me while I'm on the phone with Faith, I'm not going to hang up and talk to Joe and then come back to Faith. That's disrespectful to me. And not only that, I probably mix up the calls. But when a person picks up the phone to call me, that's quality time that I'm going to spend with them, because so many times now we text, we do all of that. But when someone takes the time to call, they're getting quality time from me. So anyway, that's all I had to offer regarding quality time. That's a very important love language, because you're offering yourself and you're offering time. We talked about time earlier. We are offering time. And so you can't hardly beat that as a present, as a gift, when someone is going to give up some time to spend with you, just to hear what you got to say, to see what are those three things. If you hear me, if you see me, what, Joe? If you hear me, do I matter?
No, that's exactly. You got it. Yes.
I got it. Okay. Do you hear me? Do you see me?
Do you see me?
I matter?
Do you see me? Do you hear me? And do I matter?
Right. That's exactly right. And so that's what's happening when you're spending quality time with a person, no matter what.
And it's so funny because Wilton said, how is the love language discussion going? He sent me a text. We were somewhere else.
He better get on this line. Tell him he better get on this line over there texting.
So Miss Shirley, he's at the movies with his son and his son-in-law to be. They had a date night. And so he just hated it because he wanted to be here with us. So
tell him that he is not giving them quality time. Stay off the phone.
I'll tell him you said that, okay? But you know what? Just to take it one step further, and we'll move on. But I have a concern that our young people, our younger generations, do they really know what quality time looks like when their whole world is around texting someone and they're just communicating back and forth? These thumbs are going, or whatever they use. I can't do it, but using these thumbs, to communicate. Do they know how to be relational? Do they know how to talk? Do they know how to, have a really authentic conversation, but they text?
Yeah.
And it's really sad, if they don't, because in the real world, you got to work. Well, I don't know. We're kind of shifting now to more of a telework, more, on your computers. At least we have Zoom so you can be interactive, but with the person. But we're getting so far away from having the human touch. In our life. And so, it's just important that these young people know that we have to relate to one another. It is a relational world.
That's right.
Just your phone.
Yeah.
For everything you do. You gotta spend time with grandma. You gotta spend some time with mama, daddy, cousins, sisters, friends. You gotta do those important things, in life, as far as building your relationship, friends. And I think we're losing it. I think we're losing it in some areas. Okay, so the next one is acts of service.
Yes.
Acts of service. Okay, so acts of service, you let them know that you are wanting help, or you wanting to help them to lighten their load. Okay. That's how you communicate. I would like to do this for you. I would like to, take you out. I would like to buy you some groceries. I
Yeah.
like to fill your gas. Let me fill your, oh, that's good. Let me fill your gas tank up for you today.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one. I've been single for so long. It's weird for a man to put gas in my tank. No, serious. I mean, very seriously. To get out, I have to put the gas in the tank. I don't care what weather it is. It could be raining, storming, snow, sleet, whatever it is. I got to put the gas in. So to have an active service for someone to do that for me, or to drive for me, wow, that's big for me. I do everything. I do all that for me. So that's an act of service. That's active service. So, like someone making breakfast for you, say, hey, I'm gonna make breakfast for you. I'm gonna fix lunch for you. I'm gonna take you on a trip. Let's go on a vacation.
Yeah.
Let's go shopping. Let's go to the spa. Here's a massage for you. Those are acts of service. I can wash clothes this week. What Joe was saying, mow your lawn for you. Those are acts of service. And that kind of ties into servitude as well. How we are servants one to another.
That's right.
So it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, or you can go outside of your family and serve others in the community. That could be a love language for someone else to help someone else out.
I think that was what Tanisha was talking about, more or less. If we put it in one of the categories here, that's what I kind of heard from her earlier, and that's kind of the way she's geared. Yeah.
So does anyone else have acts of service as their love language? Other than Tanisha, I think that's one. She might be received. She like to give gifts. So
that's
and so that, I think that's more acts of service, if you ask me.
Right.
Okay, so Robin said, yes, I'll receive. Probably I wouldn't know how to act. Being funny, but yes, having the heart to serve others is key. That's great.
Yes.
That's great. Anybody else? Acts of service. Any examples that you can also give us tonight? Anybody have any examples that weren't mentioned?
I will on the acts of service. And I'm sitting here, I can say I'm all 5 languages that I would want, but the acts of service is like more of me, and it's been me for years, because I don't look at it as just a man should wine and dine, just a woman all the time, because I feel if you got a good man, you should wine and dine him as well, and so that's where the act of service come in. If you're good to me, then I'll show you, that loyalty and what my appreciation is and stuff. And, I backed up from, past relationships that I've been in because they was rough, but then I had to get to this point now to where I had to change my appetite of men. So that is what's helping me to say, hey, don't stop doing what you're usually doing. When it's that time again, you just need to change your appetite on men.
That's right.
And so
that's true.
That's where I'm at with it right now. But I just do it anyway. That's even with families, my nieces and nephews and stuff. I've always been a big giver. If they come to me, hey, I'm there.
Yeah.
Anybody calling me, I'm there. So
That's
just for me.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Tanisha, for sharing that. That's really good. Because because you're a giver and because you love to provide service and extend yourself, the man who encounters you, he has he has to know that you are a gift. You're precious yourself, right? And that you're so special that he shouldn't, manipulate that,
Right.
or use that for his benefit. That he should cherish you because you are the gift. You are enough, and
Yeah.
so go
Yeah.
ahead.
That's one thing that I had noticed about myself is because I was giving out myself like that too early. So now I know to where when it is that time to don't show them right off the bat because that's what they're going to go on. And so I just said I'll just kind of keep myself in the foreback and just pay attention to them and the red flags and go from there. So that's where my mind frame is right now.
Yes.
On
And do as much listening as you can more than talking, and allow yourself to listen to him, because what's truly in his heart will prevail. I think that would develop if it's there and he talks. You can really hear his heart, because, like I say, the heart hides a lot sometimes, has motives, and but that true person that can see your heart and has a heart will present itself. And again, you never know when that's going to happen, because God has a way of orchestrating things. And when you're a giver like you are, nothing wrong with that, period. Sometimes too, it's hard for a giver to receive. And I'm not saying that's you, but if you're a giver, sometimes it's hard for a giver to receive back. But you were saying earlier, that's something you're going to work on. But I say this, and again, I don't want to sound like I know everything. I don't. But don't close that. Keep your heart open. Allow God to feel that. Because I think in due season, that person, God will orchestrate, that person will appreciate you for who you are, and not try to manipulate that. Because you'll know, you'll slow down. And when situations happen, watch closely as to how you react to it. Just be watchful. Just something to think about. Okay?
Yes, thank you. And I am the type of person that it's hard for me to receive something that nail on. And like I said, that's something that I'm working on, being more attentive and paying attention, listening, and looking for those red flags before I just put myself.
Yeah. Yeah, but because we're a piece of work, let me tell you now. And it's just, that part. And when men have been out here for a while and know certain things, can say certain things, if the mouth will say a lot, it can lie just as well to tell the truth. But it will eventually catch up with itself given the right situation. But anyway, I think that's great to be open to that and learning that. And that could be the flip side. It ain't always the guy that has situations. It can be the flip side. And I think through it all, we just learn as we go. And have to take things at a slower pace, get a higher dimension of love within yourself, so you can feel that vibration from the other individual. So these are just some things to think about. Like I say, we don't have all the answers, but we can put some things on the floor and just try them out. Right. Yeah. So thank you for that, Tanisha.
Yes, thank you, Tanisha.
Y'all.
The next thing I wanted to do is go over the new two love languages. And after we go over those two love languages, we can open the floor for any dialogue or any last comments or anything about the love languages, and we can go on from there. And please raise your hand if you have questions. I'm gonna kind of read through it a little bit because I'm getting familiar with this because they're new, and I'm gonna kind of jump around in this document here. So the two new love languages, the first one is shared experiences. Isn't that interesting? Shared experiences. Okay, so if you're the type of person who marks up your shared calendar with activities like bowling with Joe and on Saturday night dinner with Tanisha, whatever you have, you have a marked up calendar, then chances are your love language is shared experiences. Like 38% of participants in a survey that was given, people who place shared experiences at the top of their list love and give love by creating shared memories with their significant other. Different than the traditional love language, quality time. Shared experiences focus on finding deep-rooted bonds over new and intentional adventures. It's both the experience itself and the thoughtfulness you put in making that experience happen that makes them feel loved. Okay, now signs, this might be your love language. You feel closer to your partner after attending an event together. You love completing a group task. You prefer to always have someone along for the ride. You feel closest when you are making new memories. You prefer to be doing something with your partner. Now, to get your partner on board, if you feel this way, then your partner, okay, so your partner is a such words of affirmation person like me, and a little apprehensive about adventurous dates, but they'll try.
Yeah.
So they stress rather than placing the pressure on the person of the adventurous activity, focus on how fun the experience would be for both of you. And then also, suggest how you can try something new that caters to both of your interests, like signing up for yoga. This is an example.
Yeah.
Watching a movie in the park, shopping at the local flea market, stuff like that both of you like to do. Now, what to watch out for. If you seek shared experiences, be careful not to get tunnel vision on pursuing the adrenaline rush or those first love jitters all at the time. They caution those who identify with this language to make self-discernments and recognize when you're searching for thrill after thrill rather than tending to meet with the other person. Okay. Also, watch out for signs of dependency or codependency. That you always need somebody to be with you all the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So those are some things. So anybody identify with that new love language, shared experiences? Anybody, you do you, Joe?
Well, somebody else was saying something?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, share the experience that and all of that. I think even in the spiritual walk, spiritual partnership is a partnership between equals for the sake of spiritual growth. And I ain't trying to make everything spiritual, but that's dialogue, within itself and growing the two individuals in the oneness with God. And I think, I think even above all of what we're doing in this room and talking about love, it has to start at a spiritual level with God involved. And it trickled down to all the other areas, because when you are growing the person into training to be more like our Lord and Savior, then that energy will infect everyone around them. And when you have two operating in that, coming together, it makes for a great foundation of moving a center. And if there are others in that center, like family, kids, whatever, when that is in place, kids see how you interact, you show them how love is done. So, and then you show love to them, not just say, I love you, but show love to you. Like you was talking about, who was it that was coming over to your house and you all do your thing, and she expects that from Faith. That's the love language you have with that kid, but you build that. Yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, that's good, Joe. Anybody else? Anybody else have that new love language that is so interesting? Share it. Okay.
I would say that I would agree with that. I like shared experiences. That was actually my last relationship. We were always finding different things to do, different places to go that neither person had ever been. And we would just go. Like we were always going anywhere, whether it was a blueberry festival or a concert or just anywhere new, and we create a weekend around it. And that was when he liked to plan, and in most of my relationships I was the planner, and so he liked to plan stuff, so I enjoyed just showing up, and we would just do something really, really cool. So that would be one of my love languages.
It doesn't it feel good, Cheryl, to have, if you're a planner, that somebody else plan?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was wonderful. He lived in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So it was just like maybe a 2.5-hour train ride to get there. And then whatever we would do, we have explored Michigan, but in 2 hours I could be there, and we everything would be ready, and we get in the car and we were going somewhere, and so he would just call and say, hey, I found this, you think you'd be interested? I don't care, like I'm open to try it. And he just be like, hey, let's just do this, and we do it. And I was doing some deep cleaning over the holidays, and I kept all the key cards from the places we and like just different things from different places, and I put them, even though we're not together anymore, but I put them in a picture, and I was just like, wow. But he always said to me, we're creating memories.
Yes.
All the time we're creating memories. So we always kept something from wherever we went, wherever we did, and we took lots of pictures, lots of pictures. Yeah, so it was definitely memories.
Yeah. That's good. That's
see how both of them have the same thing. You see how much fun it sounds like. He, Cheryl explaining his language, her language, they're the same. They're out there having a ball.
Yes,
absolutely.
Just bouncing back, boom, boom. They're giving love back and forth.
But you know what? We both grew a lot from that, because I'm a people person. So I'm talking to somebody at the Walmart or the Target, out gas station. I'm always find a way to talk to people, and he was not like that.
Right.
He wasn't like real open to talking to people all the time. So it used to drive him bananas that I was always finding a reason to talk to people.
Okay.
But it helped him. He grew a lot, you know, in that particular area with, you know, being in a setting. We're at like, for example, if you're at a concert, I'm going to know everybody at the whole row before the end of the concert, you know, because it's just me, right? But he learned to appreciate that.
That's right.
He really learned to, you know, appreciate that. But I also had to learn how to
pull back a little bit.
Pull back a little bit and understand, like, we together, and maybe he wants my undivided attention. But, you know, I'm networking because I'm going to meet a business person or a sponsor for something or whatever. Right. So, you know, I'm always thinking, hey, it's always good to talk to people. But I had to also remember, like, he went out of his way to create this event. So he wants my undivided attention.
Right.
Sure.
And so I have to pull back and give him that.
Sure, we so much alike. It's like amazing. Sometimes I've been in those situations where I meet other people, and by the time I know it, I have almost ignored the other person who brought me.
Exactly.
You thrive on the newness and
That's
creating
a
relationship, and it's like, or beginning relationship, or just information.
Absolutely.
And you forget, I'm on a date.
And see, when you're a people person, you're driven by people.
Right.
It's just new. It is. And one thing that, Cheryl, that I like what you were saying there was this. Do not deny new adventures.
Yeah.
Don't say no to new adventures. Because it's something in there that's going to grow you. You may take something from it. Oh, what the heck, and move on. But that's like, you know, saying here, you know, a lot of people that have regrets are the people that didn't take any risks. I wish I could have, woulda, coulda, shoulda. What does that mean? Do it now.
Right.
Nowness. Nowness is the working unit of your life. Do it now.
Right.
In present moment. Yeah. Because you can. Go ahead.
Exactly. I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because, you know, I was thinking if you said take the risk, I said I wasn't going on no roller coaster. Now, adventures, I'm adventurous, but that's just not my cup of tea at this time in my life. You know, zip lining. I mean, that might be somebody else's adventure, but that's not my adventure.
Sure.
Yeah, but to go out there and do something and experience something totally new, that's cool. That is cool.
Oh yeah.
So guess what? The second new love language is emotional security.
Emotional security.
Emotional security, and I'm gonna tell you about that. Okay, if you feel closer to your significant other when you are bearing your heart and soul during an intimate pillow talks, then your love language might be emotional security, rooted in conversation. Emotional security happens when a person feels safe, secure, and accepted for being their authentic self.
That's right.
Typically, you want to extract the why behind the what during conversations, meaning you probably tend to dig a bit deeper than surface level.
Right.
If your love language is emotional security, once your partner starts asking or answering the whys, you'll probably feel a stronger connection.
Wow.
Okay. So if your love language is emotional security, you like to ask a lot of questions. You feel closest when your partner is sharing their fears, dreams, their past. You're a deep thinker and curious listener. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You enjoy the scary conversations, right?
Mhm.
And so emotional security can be a difficult love language to affirm since it requires those walls to come down for both parties.
Mhm.
Need that conversation, right? Back and forth. First, it's important to lay down your expectations, to communicate to your partner that you feel over the moon when they are actively listening to you and getting vulnerable right back. Suggested examples work well too, like letting them know that you love that time that they set aside their phone and responded with more than a yes or no answer when you ask them about kids or about their kids or whatever. If they are still struggling to come up with questions that are connected to your needs, there are 12 essential things that you should know about your partner. And it's a guide that you can get to help to kind of figure out some of those hard-hitting questions that you might be looking for, right? So that is the second one. So the two love languages that are new, again, the first one is shared experiences, and the second one is emotional security. So I'm just gonna put this out there. I think Shirley, can you come off your mic, Shirley?
Okay.
Do you I'm a take a chance.
Okay.
Is that one of your love languages, emotional security?
Yes, but I haven't had that experience but once in my life with a intimate partner. I enjoyed the two new ones with that same person that you mentioned. We used to enjoy, we got the LA magazine, we subscribed to it, and in that magazine listed various restaurants and various types of food. And we used to enjoy, I may have shared this with you guys, so it seems like I have. So another thing we did was we went to motocross racing. And when we were intimate, I'm like that in a lot of ways because I like to ask questions and have them answered truly. And when a person opens up to you and you have that trust factor, I learned a lot about myself intimately when I had that emotional security. And that's not something that a lot of men would enjoy. And I found and I have learned that even in general conversation, some men are limited in terms of the extent that they are willing to go or know how to go in a conversation. And it ends. And I have found that if they're not on the same, sometimes educational level as you or higher, then there will be limitations because the thought processes, their ability to analyze, it doesn't go that far. And so you have to, for me to enjoy that level of security, got to take a certain type of person, and everybody just don't have that where they can speak that deeply. Sometimes people are fearful or they think that you are know it all or whatever. When you know, I mean, I'm trying to think of other ways when you're really just trying to engage in a conversation that's not surface.
That's
And
right.
I have, thank you for affirming that. That makes me think that let me know that I'm making sense. And I have found that I need that in a relationship. If I don't have that kind of communication, it's not going to work for me because communication cannot be limited if I am going to be able to enjoy intimacy with you.
Makes sense.
That's good.
It is.
Shirley. Because I when I read that, I thought about you.
Oh my, how so? About
so?
something I've shared, yes.
Because I think you're a deep thinker.
Yeah, thank you, Em.
You're a deep thinker. And if you don't know something, or if you even you have an inkling about what someone is talking about, but it's not really bullseye, you're going to ask the questions. And I don't want to say, because sometimes this word could be negative, but it's not. You will ask probing questions.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You will ask those questions to get to the root.
Yes.
Of the situation.
I'm like that, but that's offensive to some, and that's what I'm saying. If you're in a love relationship and a person is not of a certain level, it's not going to work. Right. They're going to see that as negatively and take it negatively. When you're just communicating, and Joe like to use this word, at another dimension.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it can scare people.
Yeah.
I mean, because some people are not wanting to deal like, you know, it might feel like you miss Columbo. You remember those shows?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here comes Columbo. You trying to find out what's going on, right? And so here comes Miss Shirley talking to this gentleman, and he's like, wait a minute, she's trying to really find out. She's trying to dig up some things over here. I don't know if I'm ready to get there yet.
That's right.
I'm not ready. And then they would think, but that's just Shirley. She's not trying to be nosy. That is her person. That's who Shirley is. She wants to know. She wants to.
That's letting you know that I hear you, Joe, say those words. That I hear you, I see you, and you matter.
You matter. That's right.
Right.
Exactly. That's what that is.
And first of all is first know the meaning of what you're gonna say before you say it. Because once you put it out here, you should be able to explain it if somebody asks you, what do you mean by that?
Right.
Exactly.
What do you mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
Because
and then sometimes, Joe, I cut you off. Sometimes, Joe, I have been in a conversation where they'll say, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but
and it's like, really? I promise you I don't. Do you mind explaining it? No, you know, you're just playing games. And see that right there. Okay. No, we can't have no relationship because you know what? Somebody said something about a red flag.
Yeah.
That's a red flag right now. If I got to go through this like this, just on a general conversation, we can't have nothing together that's meaningful.
I hear you, Miss Shirley. I hear you. It's like, if I gotta prod and pull you and it's like too much work, right?
But see, the thing, what you have there is, I don't want to use the term unequally yoked, but it has some.
That's it.
You know, you got common components can relate.
That's yes.
And and in a true conversation, both parties should be dialogue, not monologue.
Exactly.
Because somebody gonna get lost in the wash, and it is just, I think they're not where you are, and you're not putting them down. Sometimes people feel intimidated and they lash out, and you know, and it's nothing you've really done. It's they realize they're inadequate at certain levels, because again, if you're not understanding what's been said, you may haven't arrived to that, and it's okay. But again, if you want somebody that you can dialogue with, again, and I don't want to sound repetitious, you have to have common components.
I got to have someone, for me to feel intimate with, sexually intimate. I got to be able to dialogue. I'm sorry.
No.
But you know what? Some people, they have conversation or they throw things out just to sound like they know. and they don't know nothing.
That's exactly right.
So Miss Shirley, she'll find that out. Say, oh, see, that's how you weed them out.
Oh yeah, when you already know,
Yeah.
but it took me a while to get there.
Oh yeah.
It took me a while to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
an example for me that it just used to bother me when years and years ago, when I first gave my life to Christ, and we're in church, and a preacher would say, "Oh, you know the story." No, I don't.
No, you
I
don't.
wanted to say, no, I need the background. Give me the story. I want to know that. Oh, you know the story about da, da, da. And that's assumptions.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's what we do. We assume that people are at the level in which they know. And no, I need more context on that. If give me the context, I won't forget it. Trust me.
That's right.
I get what I need. I'll keep it back here and I'll bring it back. But if you just say you know the story and brush it off, it might not.
No, what you saying, Faith, you need to depth. You don't need just a shallow. That's easy.
Exactly.
Deep calls on too deep. And that's depth. That's all it is. And going beyond the surface. Surface is easy. Depth, you seek and find. You know, and once you know a person has that person kind of know you have that. So anyway, that's good.
When you dig and you get down in there, you know, that's where all the precious gems are.
Oh, yes, it is.
The oil. That's where the oil
I mean,
that's
right. You get that oil start coming up, right? Oil, right?
Now we can make love now. Because first of all, I have fallen in love with your brains, your mind.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
You have to have that, you know, that one-on-one learn.
I gotta have that too.
Oh. Yeah.
Did I answer your question, Faye?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. You sure did. And you gave me plenty context there.
Okay.
Plenty.
Wow.
Well, Mr. Joe, do you have any closing remarks tonight, or anyone else have any closing remarks from our 7 love languages that we went through this journey? Journey to love.
Oh yeah. I think if anything to say is this, let the power of love overcome the love for power.
Say that again, Joe.
Let the power of love overcome the love for power.
Oh my.
And I mean by that is that's what we're here for in this center, is to promote God. Because when we promote God, we promote love over hate.
Yes.
Even in the face of hate driven, the center that we are creating here. We came out of February, but we take love in every calendar day, every day of the year, leap, no leap, however.
Amen.
From here, we grow in love. If that's, you know, this has been wonderful. It's been wonderful. And I think it's because, first of all, we come here, we listen, we learn, we take away, and come back with laughter, joy, all those things. So let's keep this train moving with God as the captain and love.
Yes. I'm just so glad that we took this time and even went into the first week of March to finish this this whole series that we've done, is Teach Me How to Love. And I hope that each of us in the room, and those who attended at various times during the month, and those who'll hear the replays or the replay of tonight, that they have some nuggets, some new knowledge about themselves and how they show love or how they want to be loved. And not only just in a romantic relationship, but how we just relate in life as a person.
Yes, that's right.
It's at the, the GP, general, like, just because we're here on this earth, and every day that we're here on this earth, God says we have to love. And if we don't love, we're nothing.
That's right.
That is the most important principle, that we must love, right? And then when we do love and we know how to show it, that's just,
Yes,
raising
the bar. That's
just
right.
raising the bar all the way up. So I hope you all have enjoyed it. If you don't mind, take a couple seconds, 2 seconds, just to let us know. We need feedback, because we go to God and ask God, what do we need? But we want to know too what you need as well. And we want to make sure that the conversations that we're having that are benefiting everybody. And if it's something that you need or want to talk about, please let us know. Just share what you would like to hear. And I'm not saying it will be the next week or whatever, but we can talk about it, meet about it, and formulate it so we can be able to meet the needs of what the whole family needs, or how we can bring those kind of conversations together or discussions. So that's very important, because we want to bring quality time, and we want to do acts of service within this living room we have. So we know that everybody's getting fed, everybody's needs are addressed, and we're also, we're pouring back into each other. It's not just pouring out. We need to be poured into as well.
That's right.
So anybody have any closing remarks on this month's journey into March? And I guess next week we'll start on a whole new conversation. So anybody?
Hi, it's me. I just want to say that y'all are doing an awesome job. And every time I come on here, I'm getting a half a bucket of nuggets put in. And it's everything that the words of encouragement and motivation that y'all give me, believe me, I take it to heed every time. And this is actually helping me through so much. So y'all doing a great job. Anything y'all talk about, I'm dropping nuggets in the bucket. So that's what I want to say.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you for the feedback. Thank you so much. That, you know what, just you saying that drives us to come every Thursday. Because I'm telling you, I know that everybody on this call tonight could find something else to do tonight.
Amen.
So we give each other quality time, and that's our love, and to each other. And we want it to be the best quality time that we can give to one another. Because like you say, we could do anything else, but we choose to be here. And we're going to show up. We're going to show up. So anyone else? Okay. Well, we do have 2 new family members. We have Mr. Darrell and Miss Shirley out of this love month. So, so we have 2 family members, and we're so happy to have you on board with us. And feel free, Darrell, to, open your mic when you can. Shirley, she's already comfortable in that. I don't have to say that, but Shirley is just a joy to us. And Shirley, I've been hearing so many good feedback about, they just love everything, that you share, you pour into the room, your wisdom. And so please continue to be free to, speak to us. Okay.
Thank you for accepting me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, ma'am. We're glad to have you.
We accept all of you. From your
Yes, that's
top of
right.
your head to the soles of your feet. We accept
Yeah.
all of you. And we're so blessed for you to be here.
Yeah.
Really are. Well, Mr. Joe, if all minds are clear, all hearts are heavy. For all this love, right? We got all this love stored out. So let's pour it out. Let's
Yes.
pour it out. And even during the month of March, if you all have encounters with love or acts of service or words of affirmation or physical to anything that from the 5 love languages experiences that you want to share, and the two new ones that we got,
Yeah.
let's talk about it. Just
Yeah.
tell us, give us that feedback. So
Yes.
just wanna
yeah, and I
Yes.
think too, maybe for March, which we are
Here.
in at the moment, I think once we have the meeting on Sunday, we'll kind of have an idea of the direction that Maryland want to go for the month of March. But I want to say whatever's going to be, I want you all to come back, because we're going to make the best of our time, and we're going to try to have a topic that probably is springtime, it's newness, things are budding, and we'll go from there. But we do want you to come back, because we're going to make the time as great as we can with God's blessing. And with that said, with all hearts cleared, I say to you, Father, we thank you for hoovering over us to let us know you're there. You're so close. You're as close as a breath of your air. As to why we breathe in you. So for this evening, as we call a night, we ask that our thoughts quiet and our hearts at rest, so we can feel your loving arms around us in the midst of storms, in the midst of the storms outside, but also calm the storms inside of us, Lord. Let us know how beautiful, the most beautiful creature. I know I'm repetitious, but I want to believe that you said we are the most beautiful thing, God speaking here, that I've ever created. And to know, stop judging yourself from your magnificence, but live from that. We battle from victory, not for victory. So as your sons and daughters say goodnight in love to each other, we say, thank you, Father. And these and other blessings we ask in our Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you to everyone who commented, those who put anything in the chat. Even if you didn't open up your mic, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will see you back next Thursday on the 9th of March in Jesus' name. Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.